Grandma, why do you always have a weird smell?
Mom says it's just your scent. That single sentence made 70-year-old Helen Turner feel her whole world collapse. She had lived a tidy, clean life, yet her beloved granddaughter still said that to her. The child no longer sat on her lap and would even wrinkle her nose slightly when asked for a hug. That night, Helen pulled the covers over her head and cried quietly for hours. That distinctive smell some people notice in older adults isn't about being dirty or neglectful. It's about biology, changes in skin chemistry, and a few forgotten areas of the body that often get missed during regular cleaning. And the good news is, once you know where those spots are, the problem becomes surprisingly easy to fix. In this video, we're going to uncover 6 specific areas of the body that are most often responsible for that old person smell, and show you how giving them a little extra attention can eliminate up to 99% of the odor. From places you might never think to check to habits that make all the difference, each area reveals just how much. Your sense of freshness depends on what happens behind the scenes. You'll discover why some people seem to carry a scent, even when they bathe regularly, and how subtle changes in your routine can dramatically shift the way you feel, and how others respond to you. Stick with us until the end, because once you learn about these 6 spots, you'll never go back to your old habits again. This isn't about buying expensive products or scrubbing your skin. It's about knowledge. It's about understanding your body and using that knowledge to feel clean, confident, and completely in control. If you've ever felt self-conscious, avoided hugs, or worried about how you come across in social situations, this video might just lift that burden off your shoulders. Let's get started. Area 1, behind the ears. One of the most commonly missed areas when it comes to daily hygiene is right behind the ears. It's such a small space, barely noticeable in the mirror, and for that very reason, it often gets overlooked. But what most people don't realize is that this area is rich in sebaceous glands, tiny oil-producing spots that tend to become more active with age. As we get older, our skin produces a specific type of oil called non-enol, which mixes with sweat and dead skin cells. When that mixture sits undisturbed behind the ears, it creates a stale, musty odor that lingers long after you've showered. There was a gentleman named Walter, 79, who bathed regularly and always used cologne, yet his granddaughter gently mentioned that he smelled a little funny when she hugged him. At first, he was embarrassed. He prided himself on staying clean. But with some gentle curiosity, he started adjusting his routine and realized he never really washed behind his ears. A soft cloth, warm water, and a few seconds each day made a difference. So dramatic that even he noticed it. The subtle odor vanished and his confidence returned almost immediately. This kind of smell isn't the result of poor hygiene. It's often the result of incomplete hygiene. Behind the ears, the skin folds slightly and traps oil. If you wear glasses, the effect is even stronger as the frames press against the skin and hold that buildup in place. It doesn't take much to clean it, just consistency. A quick swipe with a warm, damp cloth during your morning or evening routine can help reduce the oil buildup. And using a mild, non-drying cleanser once or twice a week keeps the area clear without irritating your skin. There's also a psychological element to this. Many older adults associate behind the ear cleaning with childhood, when parents would remind them to wash behind your ears. Somewhere along the way, that habit falls away, replaced by quicker showers and fewer mirror checks. But small as it may seem, this area holds more weight than most realize. Odors that start here tend to spread upward toward the scalp and downward along the collar, affecting how others experience your presence, even if they never say a word. If you've ever been puzzled by lingering smells, despite keeping up with your hygiene, this may be the missing piece. It's not about scrubbing or using harsh products. It's about awareness. When you reclaim those little spaces the years have taught you to ignore, you also reclaim a sense of freshness that people around you will feel, even if they can't explain exactly why. You'll feel better, lighter, and more at ease in your own skin. And sometimes it really is as simple as going back to the basics. Area 2, nape of the neck. Tucked quietly beneath the hairline and often shaded by collars, scarves, or long hair, the nape of the neck is one of the most neglected places when it comes to daily washing, and one of the most underestimated sources of body odor in older adults. This area is a crossroads of sweat glands, hair oils, and dead skin cells, all of which can build up quickly without ever making a noticeable mess. That's part of what makes it so tricky. There's often no visible dirt, no sign that anything's wrong. But left unwashed, this small stretch of skin becomes a silent contributor to what some people call old person smell. Ruth, 76, had always been meticulous about her hygiene. Her clothes were pressed, her hair well kept, and she never missed a shower. But she noticed that on warmer days, especially after being outside or under the sun, she would catch a whiff of something she couldn't quite place, almost like a sour or sweaty scent. Even when she was freshly dressed, after some time and careful reflection, she realized she wasn't thoroughly washing the nape of her neck, especially at the end of a long day. It wasn't until her hairdresser mentioned a little extra buildup at her neckline that she decided to start paying attention. A simple change in her shower routine solved the mystery within days. The nape of the neck traps sweat, especially in hot weather or under layers of clothing. If you wear your hair long or have hair that rests against your collar, the natural oils from your scalp slide down and collect at the base. Add in the pressure and warmth from shirt collars or jacket hoods, and you've got the perfect recipe for bacterial growth. That bacteria is what produces odor, not the sweat itself. But what happens when sweat sits too long in a warm enclosed spot? Most people wash their face and their hair, but skip that small patch of skin in between. Over time, it becomes a holding zone for grime and scent. And because it's so close to the head and shoulders, it can affect how people perceive your cleanliness, especially in social situations like hugging or sitting close. The nape is where people's noses often land during an embrace, and it's where heat tends to rise when you're in a warm room. That's why even the cleanest person can give off an unintended odor. If this one little area is missed, washing the nape isn't complicated. A warm washcloth and a few extra seconds during your shower are all it takes. Make sure to gently scrub the area, especially after sweating, and pay attention to how your skin feels afterward. It should be soft, clean, and free of that slightly tacky residue that indicates lingering oil. If you wear cologne or lotion, applying it to this spot only after it's clean will help it smell better and last longer without mixing with old residue. Beyond the practical reasons, there's something emotionally powerful about paying attention to these small details. It's a reminder that you still care for yourself with intention, that your body deserves the same respect now as it did decades ago, that your presence, how you feel, how you smell, how you move, still matters in the spaces you share with others. When you tend to these quiet corners of your body, you also tend to the dignity and pride that carry you through each day. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Area 3, under the breasts or in skin folds. This is one of those areas people rarely talk about, yet it plays a major role in body odor. Especially as we age and our skin becomes softer, looser, or more prone to folding. Whether it's under the breasts, around the abdomen, beneath the buttocks, or in any place where skin touches skin, these hidden folds create the perfect environment for heat, moisture, and bacteria to settle in. And once that starts, it doesn't take long for a strong, unpleasant smell to develop, often without the person noticing it themselves. Patricia, 72, was always very neat, the kind of woman who kept a clean house, dressed elegantly, and took pride in her appearance. But she began to feel self-conscious during summer months, especially on humid days. She'd notice a faint sour smell in the evenings. Even after bathing in the morning, she tried changing her detergent, switching her deodorant, even buying new clothes. Nothing worked until a nurse at her wellness clinic suggested she gently clean and dry the areas under her breasts and along her waistline each day. Within a week, the odor was gone. What many people don't realize is that these areas can stay damp for hours even after a shower. That lingering moisture, especially in warmer weather or under multiple layers of clothing, creates the ideal setting for bacterial and fungal growth. It's not about dirt, it's about climate. These tucked away zones are warm, dark, and often compressed, which allows sweat and natural body oils to ferment into odor-causing compounds. And because they're not exposed to air or sunlight, they rarely dry out on their own. There's also a layer of discomfort that comes with talking about it. For some, these areas feel too private or maybe even embarrassing to address. But ignoring them doesn't make the problem go away, it makes it worse. And as the skin in those areas becomes more delicate with age, the irritation and odor can increase. Redness, itching, or a raw feeling might be signs that the skin is breaking down under pressure and moisture. Left untreated, this can turn into painful rashes or infections that make even simple movement uncomfortable. The good news is, a small change in your hygiene routine can make a huge difference. After your shower, take a soft towel and gently pat dry under any folds of skin, especially under the breasts, belly, or other areas where you tend to sweat. Consider using a gentle, fragrance-free powder or moisture-wicking cloth to help reduce humidity throughout the day. Some people even use cotton pads or breathable fabric liners to keep these areas dry and odor-free. Just be sure to avoid anything overly harsh or heavily scented, which can cause irritation over time. Beyond physical comfort, this is also about emotional ease. When you know you smell clean, you walk differently. You lean in for hugs. You feel good putting on fresh clothes or spending time around others without wondering, can anyone else smell that? You carry yourself with confidence because you've taken care of the small details, and those small details matter, especially when they help you feel like your best self again. Odor that seems mysterious or persistent often traces back to one of these hidden folds. But once you know where to look and how to care for those areas, everything changes. It's not about feeling ashamed. It's about staying informed and empowered, and understanding that your comfort and self-respect are worth a few extra moments of care each day. Area 4, scalp and hairline. The scalp is one of the most overlooked sources of odor as we age. Not because people forget to wash their hair, but because they often don't clean their scalp itself. Many older adults still follow the same hair washing routine they learned in their youth: a quick shampoo, maybe a rinse, and done. But the truth is, your scalp isn't just a platform for your hair. It's living skin that produces oils, sheds dead cells, and absorbs environmental particles every single day. And when those things build up, they don't just sit quietly, they start to smell. Take Howard, 68, who always considered himself well-groomed. He kept his hair tidy, got regular haircuts, and never missed a shower. But he began noticing a faint sour or greasy scent coming from his head, especially on warm afternoons or after wearing a hat. At first, he thought it was his shampoo. But after a visit to his barber, he learned that he wasn't actually scrubbing his scalp. He was just washing the hair on top of it. Once he started using the pads of his fingers to gently massage and cleanse the scalp during each wash, the difference was immediate. The odor vanished, and even his hair felt lighter and healthier. As we get older, the scalp tends to produce more sebum, which is the natural oil that helps keep the skin hydrated. But when it's not removed properly, that oil mixes with sweat, product residue, and dead skin cells, creating a distinct odor that no amount of perfume or hairspray can cover up. Add to that the effects of medication, reduced circulation, and less frequent sweating compared to younger years, and the scalp becomes a quiet holding tank for smells that slowly radiate outward. The hairline, especially around the temples and nape, is where this becomes most noticeable. Hats, wigs, or headscarves can trap warmth and block airflow, turning the scalp into a miniature greenhouse. Even thinning hair, which exposes more of the scalp to air, can make odors more detectable. You might not smell it yourself, but others who come close, during a haircut, a hug, or even a handshake, might notice something off. And because it's such a subtle issue, people rarely say anything. They just quietly pull away or keep their distance. To clean your scalp effectively, you don't need harsh shampoos or deep treatments. What you need is time, pressure, and attention. Use your fingertips, not your nails, to massage the scalp in small circles, especially near the base of the skull, the top of the head, and behind the ears. Rinse thoroughly and make sure you're not leaving behind shampoo or conditioner residue, which can also contribute to odor. If you use styling products, make sure to cleanse them out regularly, as buildup is a major source of scalp-related smell. And don't underestimate the impact this has on your overall presence. A clean, healthy scalp doesn't just smell better, it changes how your hair moves, how your skin feels, and how you carry yourself. People respond to freshness even when they can't quite name it. You feel more comfortable, more present, and more at ease when you know that nothing is lingering around you. It's a quiet kind of confidence that comes from doing something just for yourself. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Area 5, belly button. It might surprise you, but the belly button is one of the most common places where odor quietly builds up, and one of the most forgotten spots during a daily wash. Tucked into the center of the body, the navel is a small enclosed space where sweat, dead skin, lint, and bacteria all gather, creating a kind of hidden pocket that few people think to clean. And over time, that buildup doesn't just sit there, it starts to ferment. The result is a smell that many older adults mistake for body odor from other areas. never realizing it's coming from the middle of their own torso. Charles, 74, began noticing a persistent odor that seemed to follow him throughout the day, no matter how often he showered or changed clothes. It puzzled him because he was careful about hygiene, even using antibacterial soap. But it wasn't until his wife asked if he had cleaned his belly button recently that he realized he hadn't touched it in years. With a gentle cotton swab and warm water, he started including his navel in his routine. And within days, the mysterious smell that had bothered him for months simply disappeared. The belly button, especially if it's deeper or slightly recessed, acts like a little cave. Moisture gets trapped there, especially in warm weather or after sweating. If you have a rounder belly, or if the waistband of your pants rests tightly around your midsection, that area can stay moist for hours at a time without you realizing it. It doesn't take much. Just a few missed washes, and the natural bacteria that live on your skin begin to multiply, feeding on the debris inside the navel and producing odor in the process. What makes the belly button tricky is that it doesn't always feel dirty. You don't see grime, you don't feel discomfort, and because it's a small enclosed space, the smell can rise slowly and subtly. Some people even mistake it for underarm odor or believe their shirts are retaining smell when it's actually coming from that tiny central spot on their body. And because few people talk about it, many simply never think to check there at all. Cleaning the belly button is simple, but should be done gently. During your shower, use a soft washcloth or your fingertip with mild soap and warm water. Gently clean inside the navel without forcing or scrubbing too hard. If you haven't cleaned it in a while, you might notice some dark debris or even a waxy buildup. That's normal and nothing to be embarrassed about. After rinsing, pat the area dry with a soft towel, making sure no moisture is left behind. If you're prone to sweating, you can use a small amount of alcohol-free toner or a cotton swab dipped in warm water for maintenance between showers. Including this small habit in your routine has more impact than most people realize. The belly button is central, not just physically, but in how others experience your personal scent. It sits close to your clothing, your hands, and even your midsection during conversations or meals. A clean navel means a cleaner you, in ways that influence how people feel around you and how you feel in your own skin. It's a small gesture that brings big returns, especially when you realize how something so simple can remove so much doubt and discomfort from your day. Area 6, groin and inner thighs. Among the most common yet least discussed sources of persistent body odor in older adults is the groin area, including the inner thighs. This part of the body naturally generates more warmth, moisture, and friction than almost any other region, making it a prime breeding ground for odor-causing bacteria. And because it's so closely tied to privacy, it's often the last area people feel comfortable addressing, even with themselves. But if you've ever noticed a lingering scent that doesn't go away even after a bath, or if your underwear seems to carry odor, no matter how often you wash it, this may be the place to start. Take Leonard, 81, a retired firefighter who prided himself on staying active and clean. He would walk every morning, shower daily, and use fresh clothes each time. But he started noticing a musky smell in the afternoons, something he couldn't place. His doctor ruled out infections and suggested he pay extra attention to the folds and skin around the groin and thighs. Leonard admitted that while he washed the area, he often rushed through it. He started taking a bit more time, using mild soap, drying thoroughly, and occasionally applying moisture-wicking powder. The result was immediate. Not only did the odor vanish, but he also felt fresher and more comfortable throughout the day. This part of the body is naturally full of sweat glands. With age, the skin becomes softer and may start to sag slightly, which increases the number of folds where moisture can get trapped. Add to that tight-fitting clothes, synthetic underwear, or long periods of sitting, and the skin doesn't get a chance to breathe. What begins as simple dampness turns quickly into irritation, odor, and sometimes even infection if left unchecked. The groin area is also in close proximity to the digestive and urinary systems, which adds even more potential for subtle but persistent scent issues. One of the key challenges with this area is friction. When the inner thighs rub together during walking, especially in warmer weather or with less supportive undergarments, the skin can break down, making it more vulnerable to bacteria. That same friction makes it harder to fully dry the area, especially if you're in a rush. And because it's a private zone, most people simply don't talk about it, which leads many to believe they're alone in dealing with this issue. But they're not. It's far more common than people realize, and much easier to manage once you know how. The solution doesn't involve harsh products or invasive steps. It starts with using a soft, unscented soap and warm water to gently wash the entire area, including the creases where the thighs meet the pelvis. After rinsing, it's crucial to dry thoroughly. A clean, soft towel should be used to gently pat dry, taking care not to rub or irritate the skin. For those prone to sweating, applying a gentle talc-free powder can help absorb moisture throughout the day. Choosing breathable cotton underwear and changing it daily, or more often in warm weather, also helps reduce buildup and keeps the area fresh. There's a dignity that comes with knowing your body is cared for. The groin and inner thighs may feel like private terrain, but they play a very public role in how you feel and how others interact with you. When this area is clean and comfortable, your movements feel smoother, your clothing feels fresher, and you carry yourself with a quiet assurance that others pick up on, even if they can't quite name it. This is not just hygiene, it's self-respect. It's claiming the right to feel confident in your own skin at any age. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 6 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Final thoughts. As we close out this video, I want you to pause for a moment and think about what we just uncovered. Which of these 6 areas surprised you the most? Was there one that made you think, I haven't cleaned that spot in years? Or maybe one you've struggled with without realizing why? Each area we explored today isn't just about physical cleanliness. It's about rediscovering comfort, restoring confidence, and reclaiming a sense of freshness that belongs to you no matter your age. When you give a little more care to the places that often go unnoticed, you start to feel more present in your own body, and that feeling is powerful. Too often, older adults carry quiet worries about how they smell, how others might perceive them, or whether something's off without knowing where it's coming from. These thoughts can weigh heavily, especially when they're left unspoken. But today you've taken an important step, not just toward better hygiene, but toward peace of mind. Knowing exactly where odor hides gives you the power to remove it. And that kind of knowledge gives you back control over how you feel in the world, in your home, and with your loved ones. This isn't about perfection. It's about awareness. It's about breaking the silence around a topic many people tiptoe around, and doing so with dignity, warmth, and truth. When you care for yourself in these quiet, detailed ways, you're not just avoiding odor, you're showing yourself the respect you deserve. Because you've lived a full life, you've earned the right to feel clean, comfortable, and completely at ease every single day. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.